Hey everyone! Welcome back to Old Charles, your go-to spot for all things coins and collectibles. Today, we're diving deep into a classic piece of American coinage, the United States Liberty 1 cent from 1987. We're going to explore its history, design details, mintage numbers, and most importantly, what it's worth today. So, if you're a collector or just curious about this penny, stick around. The 1987 United States Liberty 1 cent is part of the iconic Lincoln Cent series, which has been in continuous production since 1909. This penny features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design created by Victor David Brenner, celebrating the 178th birthday of America's 16th president. Now, when we say Liberty 1 cent, we're generally referring to the standard Lincoln penny that you see in circulation, but in 1987, there were some interesting factors about this coin that collectors keep an eye on. Let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse shows Lincoln's profile facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," along the top edge, "Liberty" to the left, and the date, 1987, to the right. The reverse side of the coin, known as the Lincoln Memorial design, features the Lincoln Memorial Building, which was introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. One thing to note about the 1987 penny is that it doesn't have any special mint marks if it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but coins minted at Denver have the D mark right under the date. In 1987, the Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 4.6 billion pennies, and the Denver Mint produced over 5.5 billion. That's a huge number. So naturally, most 1987 pennies you find are common and not particularly rare. However, collectors sometimes hunt for subtle variations. For example, there's the 1987 close AM and 1987 wide AM varieties, which refer to the spacing of the letters A and M in America on the reverse side of the coin. These are considered small die variations and can add a bit of value to your penny if you have the rare version. As with any coin, condition plays a major role in determining value. Pennies found in circulated condition, meaning they've been used in everyday transactions, are generally worth only their face value, or a tiny premium if they're exceptionally well preserved. But if you have a 1987 Liberty cent in mint condition, especially one graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, the value can rise to about $1 to $3 or even more, depending on demand. In addition to the regular circulation strikes, the U.S. Mint also produced special proof versions of the 1987 penny. These coins were struck with extra care, using polished dies and planchets, resulting in a highly reflective, mirror-like finish. If you own a 1987 proof penny, typically marked with a S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint, it could be worth between $2 to $5 or higher depending on condition. Market prices for the 1987 Liberty cent can fluctuate depending on collector interest, precious metal prices, and general economic factors. While it's not a rare coin, finding one in exceptional condition or with unique die varieties can bring decent value. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1987 penny, I recommend checking out auction sites like eBay, coin forums, or visiting local coin shops. Always make sure to check the coin's condition and verify authenticity. Alright folks, here's the bottom line. The 1987 Liberty 1 cent is mostly a common coin you'll find in loose change. Its face value is 1 cent, but if you have an uncirculated specimen, proof, or a rare die variety, you might be sitting on a small collectible worth a bit more. Let's take a step back and talk about the history behind the 1987 United States Liberty 1 cent, or more commonly, the Lincoln penny. This coin is part of one of the longest-running and most iconic coin series in U.S. history. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Before that, U.S. pennies featured the image of Lady Liberty, but Victor David Brenner's design changed the course of American coinage forever by putting Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. Lincoln's image was chosen because he symbolizes freedom and unity, ideals that resonate deeply in American culture. The penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and it has remained largely unchanged since its introduction. Fast forward to 1987, the coin still bore Lincoln's profile on the front and, since 1959, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. The 1987 Lincoln cent is made primarily of copper, with 2.5% zinc. This was before the U.S. Mint switched to primarily zinc pennies in 1982 due to copper price increases. In 1987, billions of these pennies were minted, reflecting the everyday importance of this small coin in American life. Though the penny's purchasing power has declined over the decades, the Lincoln cent remains a beloved symbol of U.S. history and heritage. So, when you hold a 1987 penny, you're holding a piece of over 100 years of American history, a tiny tribute to a president who helped shape the nation. Now, let's talk about condition, one of the most important factors that affects a coin's value, including the 1987 Liberty 1 cent. When it comes to coins, condition refers to how much wear and tear a coin has experienced since it was minted. The better the condition, the higher the potential value for collectors. The 1987 penny is very common, so most you'll find have been circulated, meaning they've been used in everyday transactions, rubbed and scratched. Circulated pennies typically show wear on Lincoln's hair and face. The lettering on both sides might be a bit faint, and the surface could have scratches or discoloration. Coin collectors use a grading scale from poor, P1, all the way to mint state, MS 70, which means a coin is flawless. Circulated coins like the 1987 penny often grade between good, G4, to very fine, VF 20. These coins are usually worth just a penny or maybe a few cents more. Uncirculated coins, those that have never been used in commerce and show no signs of wear, can be graded from about uncirculated, -50 Australian dollars, up to mint state grades. For example, an MS65 or higher grade, a coin with sharp details, full luster, and no significant blemishes, can push the value up to around $1 to $3 or even more for serious collectors. If you have a 1987 penny that looks almost perfect, no scratches, strong detail, and a nice copper color, it might be worth getting it professionally graded. Grading companies like PCGS or NGC will certify the coin's condition and can help you get the best price if you decide to sell. On the flip side, proof pennies from 1987, made especially for collectors with a mirror-like finish, are often found in pristine condition and generally have a higher value. So remember, when it comes to your 1987 Liberty cent, condition is king. Even a small difference in wear or damage can make a big difference in how much it's worth.